Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. Great article from T Mobile's newsroom. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So, T Mobile for Business, they lock in another partnership. Miller Electric drives autonomous vehicle operations with T Mobile 5G private network. So, they're also using their ANS advanced network solutions in this scenario. And like I've been telling you guys, they're going to grab more and more and more and more of these types of partnerships. They've never really played in this arena. And now with the network largely built out, the standalone core really taken off, and them now moving in bigger into slicing and T priority and everything else, they're going to challenge Verizon and AT&T as it comes to the next 5G use case and everything and every other use case that these companies are wanting to put out. You want 5G private networking, we can do it. You want this, we can do that also. You want T priority, we can do that as well. And that's how T-Mobile is presenting itself to any of the CIOs and bigger company representatives that they need to do dealings with to get these accounts. Now, again, a large part of that is probably still pricing. They probably still come in below the competition. But, T-Mobile had 0% share virtually in these types of partnerships. So now going from nothing to something, right? It's a big deal for the company. And it's going to reflect on the balance sheet, even if they come in lower than the competition. So this is taking place in Jacksonville, Florida. It's a top destination will soon experience a futuristic transportation. So, Jacksonville-based Miller Electric will use a 5G private network from T-Mobile's Advanced Network Solutions (ANS), as I mentioned, to support the operations of the new bus-shaped, fully autonomous shuttle that will transport visitors along a 3-mile stretch from the home of the city's professional football team, Everbank Stadium, to the new waterfront hub. So again, T-Mobile is using its 5G ANS to create a business case that's going to make them some money. So T-Mobile is going to compete fiercely on all fronts when it comes to business. Large, mid-sized, small, they're going to compete now. They have the assets to do it. They've been investing for years now. And yes, as we discussed this morning, them relinquishing the millimeter wave licenses and really trimming that down to, in my opinion, where millimeter wave really becomes insignificant for T-Mobile. Yes, they're going to hopefully have it right for this purpose. Maybe they got the licenses or kept the licenses where they can deploy it in this instant, but it's just going to be so insignificant that you'd hardly connect to it, right? You have to literally go to a specific area to be able to make use of T-Mobile's millimeter wave. So most of this, right, as T-Mobile continues to scale and they partner up with cities and other partners, the main workhorse here is going to be AWS moved over to NR, PCS, it's already on NR, but more of it moved over to NR, and then 2.5. Low band, yeah, that's a big part of it too, but that's more for coverage. The main three workhorses on this front is going to be AWS, PCS, and 2.5. And then somewhere down the line, I hope in the short term, they sprinkle in that C-band license that they have across 225 million pops. And that's what they're going to roll with at large scale. If you're looking at the counties and the bigger areas of the bigger cities, that's what they're going to do, right? In the deepest parts of downtown to deploy millimeter wave, I mean, some people don't even get to those parts. So your experience is largely going to come from PCS, AWS, 2.5, and then C-band when they do deploy it. And that's just going to be it. So I fully anticipate massive densification over the years from T-Mobile now that they're not going to, of course, do any capital allocation towards millimeter wave. I mean, they essentially are telling us they're done with that. They're not scaling. They're not going to create any innovation around it. They're not going to have to swap out panels to newer, more efficient panels. They're not going to do any of that around millimeter wave. Where it's deployed, it's going to remain. I don't even know if they care to upgrade to newer efficient panels in the areas where they have millimeter wave deployed. Who knows? Up in the air. But for now, the main three spectrum bands that are going to support these use cases and future partnerships for T-Mobile is going to be AWS, PCS, and 2.5. That's going to be the main workhorse. So I fully expect additional small cells for further densification. I expect a large wide scale 10 gig backhaul increase to come over the next few years. And that's the only way that they can make it work. And then, like I said, they have to sprinkle in that C-band. They have to make use of that now, more important than ever, since they're virtually not going to do millimeter wave. Now I'm not saying that continuous millimeter wave would have happened with any carrier. It's hard to do, but you can specifically, like this 3 mile stretch as an example, you could make millimeter wave work. Like if you use that, let's say you have macros deployed along that stretch, you fill in some millimeter wave small cells, that handoff properly, they could have made it work, right? Just as an example, but they'd rather use the mid band, the AWS and PCS. I'm being told that's what most of its partners are innovating around. They're not innovating around millimeter wave. Millimeter wave is not used much in other parts of the world. So this seems to be the strategy moving forward. But T-Mobile got another partnership. Good to see. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you're new. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Live. See y'all in the next one. Peace.